Dito lang sa inyong iisang himpilan. Live from Cool Studios, this is koolNews Early Edition. This is
Good morning to you all, and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. Today is July 29, 2024, and oh boy, it is raining here right now. I was expecting a sunny weather, but man, it's raining again. Alright, anyways, so let's get it started. I just hope my computer doesn't lag. Okay, so now let's get into the morning headlines that we might have missed so far. Okay. I can't use my Chrome, but my art process for is for the monitoring the stream. Okay, so yeah, we will be getting into the weather forecast when we return from the outbreak, of course. But in the meantime, let's check what's new with Inquirer. Alright, so let's continue with the let's get into that now. A day before the start of classes on Monday, the Department of Education said 832 public schools in areas affected by the impact last week of Super Typhoon Karina have decided to postpone their opening to allow the rehabilitation and cleanup of affected facilities. A list provided on Sunday by Education Secretary Juan Edgardo Angara, which was later updated on Sunday night, showed that of these schools, the majority, or 452, were in Central Luzon, followed by the Ilos region with 85. Next were the National Capital region with 225, Calabarzon with 66, and Sorsogon with 4. The figures were higher than the 738 schools nationwide, which the DepEd said last week would not be able to reopen on Monday. Of that total, 442 schools were in Central Luzon, 406 in the NCR, 86 in the Cordillera Administrative Region, and 4 in Cotabato. Most of these schools incurred damage in school infrastructures and experienced flooding, and they will undergo cleanup, especially in Metro Manila, Angara told the Inquirer in a message. He added that 149 of the 979 schools were still being used as evacuation centers, although he did not say where these schools were located. In Metro Manila, all schools in the cities of Marikina, Malabon, Pasig, and Valenzuela have decided to postpone the opening of classes. In addition to 15 schools in Quezon City, 13 in San Juan, 5 in Manila, and 2 in Navotas. The postponement ranged from as short as a day to as long as a week. A short of calamity was declared in the NCR after heavy rains due to Karina, and the enhanced southwest monsoon left many areas inundated in floodwaters. Despite this, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. ordered the DepEd on Friday to do everything it can to push through the school opening, even if teachers must meet their students outside classroom. The opening of classes for school year 2024 to 2025 was moved back from August to July in preparation for the return to the old academic calendar, when schools would open in June and close in March. A group of teachers, however, called on DepEd and local government officials to accurately assess the situation on the ground before Monday's school opening. According to SAS Teachers Dignity Coalition Chair, there are still some schools in Metro Manila that are set to open tomorrow, which is actually today. Several of these cities near the Tulahan River, which were also affected by the storm. Just think that the Tulahan River flows through Caloocan, Malabon, Navotas, and Valenzuela, and who knows what effects the typhoon had over these areas. Basa told the inquiry. He lamented that only two schools in Navotas had postponed the opening of classes, considering how Typhoon Karina severely affected the city. Schools were indeed affected, but what we are asking here is for the DepEd and our local officials to also consider the situation of students, teachers, and parents, Basa said. Imagine if their families were affected by the typhoon, like their houses were destroyed by the typhoon, would you let them go to school considering that kind of situation? He added. In addition, in line with Transportation Secretary Jimmy Bautista's order to ensure the safety of all road users for the resumption of classes, Non-Transportation Office Chief Bagor Mendoza II ordered all regional directors and district office heads nationwide to coordinate with their respective local government units. Your LTO, through our personnel on the ground, will assist in the smooth flow of traffic and ensure compliance of motorists with courtesy and discipline on the road, Mendoza said in a statement on Sunday. My instruction is to coordinate with the LGUs for traffic management and what assistance the LTO could provide to ensure the safety of our students, teachers, and school personnel and all road users, he added. Mendoza also directed LTO personnel to check on the roadworthiness of motor vehicles being used for school services in coordination with the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board. He said LTO personnel should also be on the lookout for tricycles and other motor vehicles that carry too many students. We also have to check on motor vehicles overloaded with students because that is very risky and leads to road accidents. Another fuel tanker, identified as the MTKR Justin Bradley, sank in shallow waters off Marives, Bataan on Saturday afternoon as salvage operations on the Santa Terra Nova, which is still carrying its cargo of 1.4 million liters of intrusive fuel, was postponed, the Philippine Coast Guard said on Sunday. According to the PCG, the Justin Bradley was reported to have no cargo on board, but PCG divers found fuel leaks on the vessel and an undetermined amount of diesel. The PCG said divers have sealed the leaks found on the vessel and were waiting the arrival of more equipment. The PCG response team is working on properly removing the diesel cargo with the help of a contracted salvor, the PCG said, adding that it will investigate the circumstances around the sinking of the recovering the cargo. The oil tanker sank Saturday afternoon in waters 9 meters deep off Barangay Kapban, just half a kilometer from the shore, and just 2 days after the sinking of the Terra Nova on July 25. On Sunday, the PCG said the contracted Salvador Harbor Star Shipping Services was supposed to start siphoning the Terra Nova's cargo, but it was postponed after divers found 9 more leaking valves that had to be sealed. An order was given to seal the valves first before the start of the siphoning operations in order to prevent more leakages, PCG spokesperson Rear Admiral Armando Balito said on Sunday. Divers were aiming to finish sealing the valves by Monday, Balito said, when the week-long siphoning process can start. Harbor Star was hired by Terra Nova owner, Shogun Ships Incorporated, under a no-call, no-pay contract, which means Harbor Star will not be paid if it fails to fulfill the terms of the contract. Harbor Star, a stock exchange-listed company, was one of the salvors involved in the cleanup of the empty Princess Empress oil spill off Mindoro last year, tagged as the worst in the country. The Princess Empress was carrying 900,000 liters of intrusive fuel when it sank off New John Oriente Mindoro on February 23, 2023. Both the Princess Empress and the Terra Nova were chartered to carry intrusive fuel from Limay to Iloilo City by the ESL Harbor Bulk Terminal Corporation, a subsidiary of the San Miguel Corp, the largest conglomerate in the country. Meanwhile, the Philippine Space Agency has generated a map showing the extent of a possible oil spill in Manila Bay. As of July 27, the map indicates that the oil spill may cover an area of approximately 68.01 square kilometers, a significant increase from Phil SA's July 26 estimate of 14.4 square kilometers. However, Phil SA noted that these figures are still subject to ground validation. The incident has raised concerns from fisherfolk in the provinces surrounding McManama Bay. We haven't fully recovered from the severe impact of Super Typhoon Karina and the current southwest monsoon, said Richard Cadenza, excuse me, leader of the fisher group in Cavite. Fishing has been disrupted for over 2 months due to large waves and strong winds. We cannot endure another looming tragedy caused by this oil spill, noting that the incident may also affect fish prices in the Market Bay area. Ronald Arambulo, vice chairperson of the activist Babansang Lakas ng Kiliusang Mama, Mamamalakayan ng Pilipinas, criticized the government for the pace of its actions in both the Princess Empress and Terra Nova oil spills. We have we have experienced numerous oil spills before. The government should have learned how to prevent the expansion of its damage to the sea and fishers' livelihoods, Arambulo said. The organization said that it is monitoring several coastal towns in Cavite that could be affected, including Danza and Rosario, where more than 10,000 fisher folks may be impacted. Okay, excuse me. Man, why do I have this throat in the morning? But, alright. Let me just check the weather real quick. Let me just check the Bakas weather. Excuse me. Pardon me. Okay. Okay. Okay, we already have a weather, which is yep, we will get to that in a bit. All right, people, it is now. All right, people, it is now 30 minutes past 6, and we will get into the cool weather coming up, and along with the more headlines coming up right here on koolNews Early Edition. So stick around, people. We will be right back. Excuse me.
Pag-ibig Fan, solid ka ba?
Welcome back to Cool News Early Edition, and now it is time for the news alert forecast or cool weather forecast from Pakasa Weather Specialist. Well, I don't know who that is. Let me just double check. Albert Barina. There you go. So yeah, let's get into that. Let's get into that now.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat mula sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Narito na ang lagay na ating panahon ngayong araw nga ng Lunes, July 29, 2024, opening ng classes dito sa ating bansa. Sa ating latest satellite images nga natin, makikita natin yung southwest monsoon o habagat na patuloy na nakaka-apekto, partikular na sa kanlurang bahagi ng Luzon. Makikita nyo, medyo maulap pa rin yung kalangitan, partikular na sa may bahagi ng Ilocos Region at ilang bahagi ng Central Luzon, yung area ng Bataan at Zambales. Asahan pa rin na malaking tsansa ng mga pag-ulan sa araw na ito. Samantala, patuloy pa rin yung pagmamonitor natin dito sa low pressure area na ating huling namataan na sa 220 kilometers northeast ng Apari sa lalawigan naman ng Cagayan. Sa ngayon, basta pinakahuling datos natin, medyo nahihirapang maging isang bagyo itong low pressure area na ito dahil nasa isang environment siya na hindi conducive para ma-develop into a tropical depression. Pero patuloy pa rin nating i-monitor itong low pressure area na ito sa mga susunod na oras. At samantala, sa iba pang bahagi ng ating bansa, sa eastern side ng Luzon, sa Kabisayan at sa Mindanao, mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms naman ang mararanasan. Kaya sa mga kababayan natin, lalong-lalo na sa mga magulang, mga guro, mga estudyante na papasok ngayong araw, asahan pa rin natin yung mga pag-ulan sa hapon hanggang sa gabi, habang sa tanghali may tsansa medyo mainit na panahon, lalo na sa may bahagi ng Kabisayaan at sa Mindanao. Sa ngayon naman, maliban dito sa low pressure area na ating minomonitor, ay wala na tayong nakikita iba pang low pressure area o bagyo man sa loob at labas ng Philippine Area of Responsibility. Habang sa mga susunod na araw, inaasahan natin na hihina na nga itong southwest monsoon, kaya posibleng mga thunderstorms na lamang ang mararanasan sa mga susunod na araw, bandang hapon yon hanggang sa gabi. At narito ang ating inaasahang panahon dito sa bahagi ng Luzon. Inaasahan natin ang itong area ng western section ng Luzon ay makararanas pa rin ng mas malaking tsansa ng mga pag-ulan. Ito ay dulot nitong southwest monsoon o habagat. Partikular na nga itong area ng Ilocos Region, Bataan, Zambales. Posible din yung area ng Cordillera, partikular na sa Abra at sa bahagi naman ng Benguet, dyan sa may Baguio din. Sa lalabing bahagi ng Luzon, inaasahan naman natin ng mga isolated o pulong-pulong pag-ulan, pagkilat, pagkulog, habang malaki yung tsansa na medyo mainit at tanghali ang mararanasan, lalo na dito sa may silangang bahagi ng Luzon. Agwat nga ng temperatura natin sa Lawag na sa 24 to 32 degrees Celsius, sa Tuguegarao aabot na hanggang 33 degrees Celsius, sa Baguio 70 to 22 degrees Celsius, sa Metro Manila naman 24 to 32 degrees Celsius, sa Tagaytay 24 to 31 degrees Celsius, habang sa Legazpi nasa 24 to 32 degrees Celsius. Dito naman tayo sa Palawan, Visayas at Mindanao. Dito sa may area ng Palawan, inaasahan din natin ng mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Agwat ang temperatura sa Calayan Islands, 25 to 31 degrees Celsius. Sa Puerto Princesa naman, 25 to 31 degrees Celsius. Malaking bahagi din ng Kabisayan ang makararanas ng generally fair weather, pero may chance pa rin ng mga isolated rain showers and thunderstorms. Agwat ang temperatura sa Iloilo, 26 to 32 degrees Celsius. Sa Cebu naman, 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. Habang sa Tacloban, nasa 25 to 32 degrees Celsius. Mga pulupulong pag-ulan, pagkulog din ang maranasan sa may bahagi ng Mindanao. Ito ay dulot ng mga localized thunderstorms. So makikita natin sa may area ng Visayas at Mindanao, hindi masyado nakaka-apekto yung southwest monsoon, mostly sa may Luzon area lamang. Agwat ang temperatura sa Zamboanga, 25 to 33 degrees Celsius. Sa Cagayan de Oro, 25 to 32, habang sa Davao hanggang 33 degrees Celsius. Sa kasalukuyan nga, wala pa rin tayong nakataas na gale warning sa anumang bahagi ng ating bansa. Pero nagpapaalala pa rin tayo sa mga posibilidad ng mga biglang paglakas ng alon dulot ng mga thunderstorms. Pero generally, ligtas sa pumalawat ang mga sakyang pandagat at malilit na mga bangka sa mga baybayin ng ating bansa. Samantala, ang araw ay sisikat mamayang 5:39 ng umaga at lulubog, ganap na 6:26 ng gabi. At sundan pa rin tayo sa ating iba't ibang mga social media platforms sa X, Facebook, YouTube at sa ating website pag-asa.doc.gov.ph. Lalo at inaasahan natin ngayon nga sa pagbubukas ng klase sa araw na ito, posible pa rin ang mga pag-ulan sa hapon hanggang sa gabi. Kaya mainam, magdala pa rin tayo ng mga pananggalang sa ulan. At live na nagbibigay update mula dito sa Pag-asa Weather Forecasting Center. Ako naman si Obet Badrina. Maganda tayo lagi para sa ligtas na Pilipinas. Maraming salamat po. Salamat sa pagsubaybay.
And that was the weather forecast from Pag-asa. Alright, now let's continue with the headlines. Oh yeah, by the way, I have also forgot to remind you all that I will not be anchoring koolNews at 4 p.m. and possibly there will be no koolNews at 4 p.m. newscast to do. koolNews anchors being busy at that time. So I have to say that koolNews at 4 will be cancelled for today. So hopefully later before koolNews at 6 and hopefully I will be home by later before 6 so I can do koolNews at 6. So yeah, hope you all understand that. Yeah, I am going out for reasons. So yeah. There's that one. All right, so now let's continue, shall we? All right. Okay, so where was I? Okay. Okay, wait for it. Alright, let's continue. A 3-month price freeze on more than 100 essential medicines in different areas in Luzon has been ordered by the Department of Health following the devastating effects of Super Typhoon Karina and the enhanced southwest monsoon. The DOH said the price freeze is being imposed on 148 drug products and medicines, including vitamins and minerals and prescription drugs against asthma and hypertension, as they are considered among the basic necessities. Prices in an area or under a state of calamity or under an emergency shall be automatically frozen at the prevailing price under automatic price control for a period of 60 days unless sooner lifted, it said in an advisory on Friday. The price freeze is in effect in Metro Manila and the provinces of Batangas, Bataan, Bulacan, and Cavite, as well as the municipality of Cainta and Rizal and the towns of Pinamalayan and Paco and Oriental Mindoro. The complete list of covered medicines can be viewed at DOH's website and official social media accounts. The DOH urged the public to report establishments violating the price freeze order and are compromising the products. French Rafale fighter jets and support aircraft taking part in Pegasus 24 mission touring the Indo-Pacific region made a stop in the Philippines for the first time in the display of global reach and air power amid a splat between Manila and Beijing in nearby disputed waters. Journalists flew aboard the huge French Air Force 400M transport aircraft on Sunday over waters off Luzon's western coast on the edge of the South China Sea on a 2-hour bumpy flight, supposedly to witness two Rafale fighter jets fly with an A330 refueling tanker that keeps its air operations longer in the skies. It was an apparent attempt to showcase France's capabilities and commitment to uphold freedom of navigation and overflight in the region to the media. The Rafale fighters did not take off due to bad weather, but this did not dampen the mood since the French Air and Space Force contingent will be in the country until the end of the month to display their capabilities and engage their local counterparts. The message of the Pacase mission is that we are able to send very quickly, very far, our best in our modern aircraft, able to ensure the security of the area in the Pacific where the French interests are concerned and are threatened. Brigadier General Guillaume Thomas from the French Air Defense and Operations Command said at a press briefing after the flight. Over the next few days, the French Air Force will hold subject matter exchanges with the Philippine Air Force on logistics and technical expertise. Philippine pilots will also get a chance to ride the Rafale and the accompanying aircraft to learn about them. We want to demonstrate the expansion of our military partnership in the air domain to showcase the trust and fidelity of our relationship and to demonstrate that France stands close to the Philippines, Thomas said. The Pacase's Going For mission, which aims to showcase our presence in the Indo-Pacific, is already on its final leg of visiting some of its Southeast Asian partners after holding exercises with allies in previous stops. We're here to develop our cooperation, our interoperability, and to move further with our cooperation with the Philippine Air Force, Thomas said. France is a nation of the Pacific, so we need to protect our population, our overseas territories, our industry. Clear, however, that France's activities were not directed against any country. Secretary show on Saturday was early this month. Both sides, however, have been at odds and have different accounts on the agreement. France has been seeking to forge closer ties with Manila and is in early stages of negotiations on a status of the visiting force agreement, which will allow both forces to engage more frequently. We don't need a VFA in order to perform and to organize these stopovers. We already do. But it's true that each time it is required to negotiate specific technical arrangements, and if we have a broader FTA, that will be a framework for many frequent and even last-minute deployments that otherwise we need to prepare for a long run. French Ambassador to Manila, Marie Fontanelle, said in the same briefing. We're all very impressed by the speed according to which the reciprocal access agreement was signed with Japan. Now, we probably will be next in line if we aren't first out ourselves. I think we will try to do that, but then after that, I cannot commit to any timing and schedule for the negotiation itself, Fontanelle said. Manila and Tokyo sealed an RAA early in July that took only about 8 months to negotiate. The RAA, similar in many respects to the countries which the forces back with the United States and Australia, allows the entry of Philippine and Japanese military forces into each other's jurisdiction for joint exercises and disaster response. There are 19 accredited transportation network companies competing for the more than 70,000 slots as transport network vehicle service providers address the expanding demand for ride-hailing and delivery services in the country. 14 of these were accredited by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board in 2023 and 2024 as TNCs effective for 2 years. On June 14, among those approved by the LTFRB were AZ Tech Solution International Corporation, Operating Snappy, Pure Ride Corporation, and UN La Corp. The other recently accredited TNCs were Angkas Technologies, Get Express Local Corporation, GoCap Corporation, Health Transport Incorporated, Go Information Technology Solutions, Metro Hills Transport Association Incorporated, Para Express Technology Services Incorporated, Pickup Philippines Corporation, RLSO Corporation, Taxi Philippines Incorporated, and Unified Transport Operations League Corporation. 5 TNCs had their accreditation renewed also for 2 years. Joyride Philippines Corporation, Cloud Panda Philippines Incorporated, DoctorGo, Pick Me Up Incorporated, Rirna Mobility Solutions Incorporated, and Grab Philippines, which is currently the dominating ride-hailing and delivery service provider among TNCs. In a statement on Sunday, LTFRB Chair Teofilo Guadis III said the accreditation of more TNCs was in line with their mandate to ensure that the riding public continues to benefit from advancements in transportation services. The LTFRB has also released new TNVS slots to support the expanding ride-hailing market. The regulator, however, did not respond if it would finally implement Board Resolution Number 34, Series of 2024, issued in March, which approved the opening of 10,000 TNVS slots for Metro Manila and nearby provinces in Luzon. The LTFRB indefinitely postponed the awarding of the slots in April, following opposition from transport groups due to fears of worsening traffic congestion in the region. As of March, only 32,000 TNVS slots were filled out of the 65,000 units common supply base for Metro Manila and nearby areas determined by LTFRB back in 2018. In May, the LTFRB issued Board Resolution Number 57, Series of 2024, opening 2,550 additional TNVS slots in the Visayas and 2,500 more TNVS slots in Mindanao based on the island group's population and tourist data. Transport Secretary Jimmy Bautista emphasized the importance of a diversified and comprehensive ride-hailing market in order to provide safe, reliable, and affordable transportation options for all Filipinos. A series of hacking attempts against government agencies continues, with the Department of Energy (DOE) being the latest victim of hypercriminals. The DOE buried this incident in a statement on Sunday, saying its Government Energy Management Program website was hacked and defaced on Saturday night. It did not mention if data were compromised, but the department said it immediately took the system offline. The agency was also closely cooperating with the Philippine National Computer Emergency Response Team and the system developer to address the website's vulnerabilities. The DOE assured the public that measures were ongoing to strengthen its system against hackers. As of Sunday morning, the website has yet to be restored to full operations. A Manila-based hacktivist and Greyhead Group claimed responsibility for the cyber attack, noting that it breached with the website with else. This is a wake-up call. Your system isn't as secure as you think, Dead Note hackers said on a Facebook page. If a group like Dead Note hackers, who operate with limited resources and experience compared to nation-state actors, can compromise your systems, it raises an alarming question. What could happen if Chinese hackers, who are known for their sophisticated hyper capabilities, decided to target you? The group said. That note, hacker said the DOE website has a significant vulnerability that requires immediate attention. The group also warned that if the DOE fails to address the vulnerability issue, it will have no problem publishing all related data, including trade secrets, on breach form if we find you incompetent up to this breach. Yikes for DOE, huh? Yikes. And a total of 40 health facilities across the country were partially damaged following the onslaught of the Supertyphoon Corina in the southwest monsoon, according to the Department of Health. In the radio interview on Sunday, Albert Domingo, spokesperson for the DOH, said that of the damaged health facilities, 18 were barangay health stations, 14 were hospitals, 7 were units, and 1 was the regional office of the agency. Despite this, Domingo said the DOH was able to comply with the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to provide primary care services to those affected by the calamity, especially those staying in evacuation centers. According to the DOH, a total of 5,159 consultations of various health concerns were already conducted in the evacuation centers. Health Secretary Teodoro Herbosa earlier projected a surge of leptospirosis cases and put health facilities in Metro Manila, Calabarzon, Central Luzon, and Ilos regions under Blue Code Alert status on July 25. Herbosa also ordered the release of Cambolas Plus kits to evacuation centers containing the antibiotics Cotrimoxazole and Amoxicillin, Firmanamic 8, paracetamol, oral rehydration salts, Lagundi tablets, hypertension drug, excuse me, losartan, and skin ointment. Alright people, it is now 18 minutes before 7 and we will be getting into more right here on koolNews Early Edition, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Introducing all new Cream Silk Vitamin Boost Conditioner. Now with 10 times more.
Welcome back to koolNews Early Edition. It is now 9 minutes before 7, and we will be having a 7 a.m. hour of koolNews Early Edition where we will cover more, along with 8 a.m. hour. Alright, let's continue. Okay, so let's get into that right now. Let me just check the stream. Not stream, broadcast. I'm sorry, broadcast. There we go. Alright, so now Okay, so now let's continue. Surigao del Norte, Representative Robert A. Barber sought to amend Republic Act No. 11934, lamenting that the Subscriber Identity Module SIM Registration Act, enacted in October 2022, has failed to curb cybercrimes as intended. Barber lamented that despite the passage of the SIM card law, which mandates the registration of post and prepaid SIM cards, local and foreign criminals have managed to skirt the law and continue their scamming operations. He pointed out the law was intended to curb hypercriminal activities to address issues related to trolling, hate speech, and online disinformation. But what we are seeing and witnessing today is that online scamming activities continue and remain uh, unabaded. Barbos noted that the President anti-organized crime commission raids on Pogo's facilities in Bamban, Tarlac, and Prolac, Pampanga yielded tens of thousands of unused SIM cards ported out, and we all know too well that these Pogo operators and workers won't use them for good intentions. He cited various online scams in the Philippines, including phishing, automated teller machine scheming, identity theft, online shopping, lottery scam, crowdfunding scams, love or romance scams, events fee fraud, fake websites, SIM card SIM swap scams, SMS phishing, blackmail and credit card scams, impersonation scams, online banking scams, catfishing, charity scams, computer hacking, investment scams, and grandparent scams. Barbers, who chairs the House Committee on Dangerous Drugs, pointed out that some narcotics peddlers use postpaid SIM cards to hide their real identities and avoid detection, so they could post and selling their coded illegal wares on various social media platforms. Excuse me. Yeah, I really am woke. I just woke up. Okay. Okay. All right. I need to drink water. Give me a second, guys. Give me a second. Alright, sorry for the long wait. I just got back here. So, yeah. Now we will do one more before 7 a.m. hour hit. Actually, it is nearing 7 a.m. apparently. So, well, we're gonna continue that in the next hour. But for the meantime, let me do the time check real quick. Yeah, 30 seconds before 7. So, how long have I been away for? I think 6 minutes? Oh no. But yeah, sorry about that one, guys. It really took long, but yeah, I had to drink water because I have been thirsty. So, okay, now we will get ready for 7 a.m. hour of koolNews early edition, and we will continue with the headlines. So, give me a second. Okay, it is now 7 o'clock, and now it is time for 7 a.m. hour of koolNews early edition.
Live from Cool Studios, this is koolNews Early Edition.
Oops, okay. Alright everyone, it is now 7:01, and if you have just joined us to start your morning headlines, well, a fellow good morning to you all, and welcome to koolNews Early Edition. Alright, so now let's get into the headlines. Two foreign nationals were held on Saturday after they were found inside a home in an upscale subdivision in Tuba Town, Banguet Province, during a government operation meant to arrest a Chinese woman wanted in connection with a recently raided Philippine offshore gaming operator Pogo Hub in Baban Tarlac, the Bureau of Immigration BI said on Sunday. While the subject of the arrest warrant was not in the house, the raiding team instead arrested Chinese national Wang Keping, age 35, and her Cambodian companion, Kairuan Moron, age 37, who were inside the raided house at a high-end neighborhood of the Pinewoods Golf and Country Club in Bugios, neighboring town of Tuba. The Tuba police confirmed the operation led by the BI. There was coordination in response to the request of the Bureau of Immigration and PAOCC, or known as Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission, according to a reply sent by the Tuba office to the inquiry on Saturday. But the police did not provide further details, saying the Tuba Municipal Police Station only provided area security. The BI, in a statement Sunday, said the two were arrested in a joint operation conducted by the Bureau's Intelligence Division in Cordillera and the PAOCC. BI spokesperson Dana Sandoval told reporters they had no official information yet on who is the owner of the house. Law enforcement agents acted on information from the PAOCC about presence in the house of a Chinese woman being sought in relation to the Pogo Hub in Pampang Dam that was raided last March for alleged human trafficking, money laundering, and other illegal activities. However, upon arrival at the Tuba site, the woman was nowhere to be found, and only Kaping and Mo Yuan were seen in the vicinity. It was later discovered that Mo Yuan was an undocumented and overstaying alien and failed to present proper documents. Agents reported he was only able to present a photo of his supposed Cambodian passport, which had a visa that expired in August 2020. Wong was found to have a working visa, but she may be charged with violation of Philippine immigration laws for harboring an illegal alien, the BI said. According to Fortunado Mananhan, the Immigration's Office Intelligence Division Chief in Cordillera. Both foreigners will be brought to Manila for temporary detention in the PAOCC's facility while undergoing deportation proceedings. BI has remained mum on the owner of the Pine Woods home, but photos posted by media outlets that joined the identified the house as allegedly a property of a prominent personality in the country. The inquiry could not independently verify that detail at press time. The property used to be frequented by Chinese-looking guests who drew attention in the neighborhood because some of them rode motorcycles, according to a Pinewoods resident who spoke with a local lawyer on Sunday. The lawyer asked not to be identified in the report. Weeks earlier, rumors circulated regarding an offer to put up either a poker facility or a casino in Tuting, a barangay of Bangwoods in TGON town, which is also adjacent to Bugio, said Bugio City Councilor Jos Moni- Monintas. A local television broadcast last month, Bugio, Baguio, Mayor Benjamin Montalon directed the city police to check if Poco entities have sported in the summer capital. Pagcar cannot license Poco operations here without the approval of the local government, he said in the June 21 telecast of the People's Television's Ilocano news broadcast. The mayor also cited an incident 3 years ago when he was approached by a gaming proponent who used a lot of bridges, including a friend of mine, to open a pogo in the city, but Margalon said he rejected the offer. Baguio is a character city, he pointed out, which means it advocates positive morals. Baguio also built casinos during its reconstruction after it was flooded by the July 16, 1990 Luzon earthquake. Okay, I might have to lie down, so I will be moving to my phone, like right now. So, yeah, give me a second. I am definitely moving to my phone. We are back. It seems. So yeah, okay, yeah, I'm outputting it. Cool. Okay, let's check if we have breaking headlines as we speak. I'm currently going to my bed now to relax while doing the news. Okay, so I'm not in the bed, so let's just check our headlines so far. Oh well, we have some few new headlines, including international, which is Russia, of course. So, oh boy, they claim so Russia claimed two new villages in Donetsk region of Eastern Ukraine. So let's see what is going on here. Yep, it's time to get into international news, or yeah, what would it be? All right. Russia said on Sunday its forces had captured two villages in the Donetsk region of Eastern Ukraine as they pushed towards the city of Pokrovsk, northwest of the regional capital. The Russian Defense Ministry said troops had taken control of the neighboring villages of Progress and Venganvika, a few kilometers apart. Ukraine President Volodymyr Zelensky acknowledged Kyiv's forces were under pressure in the region during his evening address on Sunday. It is extremely challenging in the Donetsk directions, and it is in the Pokrovsk direction that there have been the biggest number of Russian assaults these weeks. The most intense enemy attacks are precisely there, he said. Everyone who stopped these Russian attack strikes and destroys this Russian offensive potential is performing one of the most important missions in this war. On Saturday, Russia claimed the nearby village of Lozuvatske, one of nearly a dozen it says it has captured in the Donetsk region this month. The Kremlin has recently centered its offensive capabilities on the region, which it claimed to have annexed months after launching its invasion of Ukraine in February 2022. Ukraine's general staff said on Sunday morning its forces had repelled 29 attacks in the area where Russia was trying to dislodge its units. Zelensky on Sunday reiterated calls for allies to provide the country with air defense systems, saying Ukraine has been bombarded by nearly 700 guided bombs and more than 100 Shahed drones this week alone. Every considered decision of our partners to strengthen our force can save lives, he wrote on Telegram. All right. So far we are not getting anything new now. Oh, we actually have two one here actually. But we will get into that later now. All right. Okay, looks like we're going to commercial break. It is now 10 minutes past 7 as we will prepare for more headlines right here. So don't go anywhere. Cool News at, I'm sorry, not Cool News at, why am I even saying this one? But yes, Cool News Early Edition will be right back. Stick around. And we are back with koolNews Early Edition. So again, if you have just joined us, and if you are having your first day of school today, because yes, it is indeed July 29. Happy first day of school, and I hope you have a good classes out there, everyone. All right, so now let's continue with the headlines. Okay, now let's see if we have anything new. Let me just double check. Oh yeah, we have another one. Okay, let's continuing with our international headlines, as millions of Venezuelans turned out Sunday to vote in the front presidential election, with socialist incumbent Nicolas Maduro facing the biggest challenge yet to his party's 25-year hold on power. Maduro, aged 61, is seeking a third 6-year term at the helm of the once wealthy petro state, where GDP dropped by 80% in the decade on his watch, pushing more than 7 million of its 30 million citizens to immigrate. In office since 2013, he is accused of locking up critics and harassing the opposition in a climate of raising authoritarianism. Independent polls suggest Sunday's vote could bring an end to 25 years of chavismo, the populist movement founded by Maduro's socialist predecessor and mentor Hugo Chavez. But analysts say the president is unlikely to concede defeat to opposition challenger Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, who is favored to win by a wide margin. We're praying that they don't steal the election. They always have, voter Mercedes Enriquez, age 68, told AFP in Caracas ahead of the vote. And if they do, well, we have to go out on the street for my vote, for my children, to my home live abroad along with 6 of their grandchildren. Maduro, who had previously warned of a bloodbath if he loses, said Sunday he would make sure the final result from the regime-aligned CNE Electoral Authority is defended. CNE chief Alves Amoroso nevertheless described the opposition as enemies of Venezuela. Based on its own numbers, the regime insists it will prevail over Gonzalez Urrutia, a 74-year-old former Democrat reluctantly thrust to the top of the opposition ticket after the movement's widely popular leader Maria Corina Machado was disqualified. Maduro counts on a royal electoral machinery, military leadership, and state institutions in the system of well-established political patronage. Gonzalez Urrutia said Sunday the opposition was prepared to defend the vote and trusted our armed forces to respect the decision of our people. Machado cited figures showing that more than 9 million people had voted by lunchtime, suggesting a possibly historic turnout. Polls officially closed after 12 hours of voting at 6 p.m., but people still in line will be allowed to cast their votes. AFP witnessed long queues hours before polls opened. Analysts told AFP a large turnout would benefit the opposition and make it harder to fudge the figures, as the Maduro government has been accused of doing in the past. Sunday's election is the product of a deal reached last year between the government and opposition with the backing of the United States, which temporarily eased sanctions imposed after Maduro's 2018 re-election was rejected as a sham by most Western and Latin American countries. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on Sunday urged everyone involved to respect the democratic process and said the international community was going to be watching this very closely. Washington is keen for a return to stability in Venezuela, an ally of Cuba, Russia, and China, that boasts the world's largest oil reserves, but severely diminished product capacity. Economic misery in the South American nation has been a major source of immigration pressure on the U.S. southern border. It's clear that if Maduro grabs power by force or with violence, we would see an even greater wave in a very short period of time. 3, 4, 5 Venezuelans more leaving, Machado said after casting her vote in Caracas. What's at stake here goes beyond our borders, beyond Venezuela, she added. Most Venezuelans live on just a few dollars a month, with the country's healthcare and education systems in disrepair, and the population subject to biting shortages of electricity and fuel. The government blames sanctions, but observers point the finger at corruption and government inefficiency. On Friday, a Venezuelan NGO said Caracas was holding 305 political prisoners and had arrested 125 people with links to the opposition campaign since January. Concerns for the fairness of the vote were further stroked when Caracas blocked international observers at the last minute, including 4 Latin American ex-presidents who had their plane held up in Panama on Friday. Observers from the European Union had their invitation withdrawn weeks ago. A small delegation from the US-based Carter Center has been allowed in, as well as a UN expert panel that will issue a confidential report. About 21 million Venezuelans are registered as voters, but only an estimated 70 million still in the country were eligible to cast a vote. Yeah. Okay, since we do have new headlines in Inquirer for now, let's move on to Reuters. If Reuters will let me this time. Okay, yep, Israel war, guys. It's time to bring in the news about this one. Israel Security Cabinet. Oh wait, let me just fix that real quick. I know the workaround. Hold on. Hopefully that will let me. Okay, there we go. Okay, perfect. Okay. Israel's Security Cabinet on Sunday authorized Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government to decide on the manner and timing of a response to the rocket strike in Israeli-occupied Golan Heights that killed 12 teenagers and children, and which Israel and the United States blame on Lebanese armed group Hezbollah. Hezbollah denied responsibility for the attack on Matjal Shams on Saturday. The deadliest in Israel are Israeli-annexed territory since Palestinian militant group Hamas' October 7 assault sparked the war in Gaza. That conflict has spread to several fronts and risks spilling into a wider regional conflict. Israel has full retaliation against Hezbollah in Lebanon, and Israeli jets hit targets in southern Lebanon during the day on Sunday. But there were expectations a stronger response could follow the Security Cabinet meeting convened by Netanyahu in Tel Aviv. After the meeting ended, Netanyahu's office said the cabinet authorized the Prime Minister and the Defense Minister to decide on the matter and timing of the response. The White House on Sunday also blamed Hezbollah for the Matjal Shams strike. This attack was conducted by Lebanese Hezbollah. It was the rocket and launched from an area they control, it said in a statement. U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic presidential candidate, said through her national security advisor that her support for Israel's security is ironclad. The U.S. said Washington has been in discussions with Israeli and Lebanese counterparts since Saturday's horrific attack and that it was working on a diplomatic solution. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said Washington did not want further escalation of the conflict, which has seen daily exchanges of fire between the Israeli military and Hezbollah along the border. Britain expressed concern at further escalation, while Egypt said the attack could spill into a comprehensive regional war. On the ground, thousands of people gathered for funerals in the Dulce village of Matjal Shams in the Golan Heights, territory captured from Syria by Israel in the 1967. Middle East war and annexed in a move not recognized by most countries. Members of the Druze faith, which is related to Islam, Christianity, and Judaism, make up more than half of the 40,000 strong population of the Golan Heights. Large crowds of mourners, many in traditional high white and red Druze headwear, surrounded the baskets as they were carried through the village. A heavy tragedy, a hard day, has come to Jad al-Shams, said Dolan Abu Saleh, head of the Masjid al-Shams local council, in comments broadcast on Israeli television. Hezbollah initially announced it fired rockets at Israeli military sites in the Golan Heights, but said it had absolutely nothing to do with the attack on Masjid al-Shams. However, Israel said the rocket was an Iranian-made missile fired from an area north of the village of Jibah in southern Lebanon, placing the blame squarely on Iran-backed Hezbollah. It was not immediately clear if the children and teenagers were killed were Israeli citizens. The rocket that murdered our boys and girls was an Iranian rocket, and Hezbollah is the only terror organization which has those in its arsenal, Israel's foreign ministry said. However, Saturday's strike threatened to tip the standoff into a more dangerous pace. United Nations officials urged maximum restraint from both sides, warning that escalation could engulf the entire region in the catastrophic beyond belief. Vernon has asked the U.S. to urge restraint by Israel. Lebanon's foreign minister, Abdallah Habib, told Reuters. Habib said the U.S. had asked Lebanon's government to pass on a message to Hezbollah to show restraint as well. Iran's foreign ministry warned Israel on Sunday against what it called any new venture in Lebanon. Syria's foreign ministry said it held Israel fully responsible for this dangerous escalation in the region and said its accusations against Hezbollah were false. The conflict has forced tens of thousands of people in both Lebanon and Israel to leave their homes. Israeli strikes have killed some 350 Hezbollah fighters in Lebanon and more than 100 civilians, including medics, children, and journalists. Hezbollah is the most powerful of a network of Iran-backed groups across the Middle East and opened a second front against Israel shortly after Hamas' October 7 assault on Israel. Druze communities live on both sides of the line between southern Lebanon and northern Israel, as well as in Golan Heights and Syria. While some serve in the Israeli military and identify with Israel, many feel marginalized in Israel, and some also reject Israeli citizenship. Meanwhile, President Tayyip Erdogan, which is a Turkey president, said on Sunday that Turkey might enter Israel as it had done in the past in Libya and Nagorno-Karabakh, although he did not spell out what sort of intervention he was suggesting. Erdogan, who has been a first critic of Israel's offensive in Gaza, started discussing that war during a speech praising his country's defense industry. We must be very strong so that Israel can't do this ridiculous things to Palestine. Just like we entered Karabakh, just like we entered Libya, we might do similar to them. Erdogan told a meeting on his ruling AK party in his hometown of Rizal. There is no reason why we cannot do this. We must be strong so that we can take these steps, Erdogan added in the televised address. AK party representatives did not respond to calls asking for more detail on Erdogan's comments. Israel did not immediately make any comment. The president appeared to be referring to past actions by Turkey. In 2020, Turkey sent military personnel to Libya in support of the United Nations recognized Government of National Accord of Libya. Libyan Prime Minister Abdul Hamid al-Abiba, who heads the Government of National Unity in Tripoli, is backed by Turkey. Turkey has denied any direct role in Azerbaijan's military operations in Nagorno-Karabakh, but said last year it was using all means, including military training and modernization, to support its close allies. Our ally. And meanwhile, Israeli troops backed by airstrikes battled groups of Palestinian fighters around Khan Yunis city in the southern Gaza Strip on Sunday as they continue a week-long operation that they said was meant to clear Islamist Hamas militants. A week after ordering civilians to evacuate the area, tanks pushed into the towns of Al-Qarara, Al-Sana, and Bani Suhaila, east of Khan Yunis, where medics said at least 34 Palestinians were killed by Israeli strikes. Residents reported fighting as thousands of Palestinians, many displaced multiple times, headed to the overcrowded areas in Mawasi, southwest of Khan Yunis, and northwards to Deir al-Bahla in the central Gaza Strip. The days of fighting in Khan Yunis underscore the front's resistance Israeli forces have encountered almost 10 months after the Hamas-led attacks on Israel on October 7 that triggered Israel's campaign in Gaza. Israel blames Hamas for concealing fighters in civilian areas and says its forces do everything possible to limit civilian casualties. But the head of the United Nations Relief Agency for Palestinians, Philip Lazzarini, said the evacuation orders by the Israeli military were compounding Palestinian suffering. Quite often, people just have a few hours to pack whatever they can and start all over again, mostly on foot or on a crowded donkey cart for those who can afford it. He said it in a media post on the social media platform X. One airstrike on the intended area in Al-Mawasi, a district designated as a humanitarian safe zone where the army has told people to move to, killed 5 people, including a 4-month-old girl named Maria Abu Ziyadah, local media reported. The Israeli military said it was aware of the report and looking into it. The military launched the operation in Khan Yunis in response to what it said were repeated attacks, including rocket fire from armed fighters. Fighting has also continued in other areas, including Rafah, close to the border with Egypt, in the Tel Al-Hawa suburb of Gaza City, in the north of the enclave, and in central Gaza, where the military told people to evacuate and move to Al-Mawasi immediately for their safety. The fighting continued as negotiators from Israel, Egypt, and Qatar met CIA Director William Burns in Rome, where they discussed what Israel called clarifications regarding the draft agreement that was conveyed from Israel. Negotiations on the main issues will continue in coming days, a statement from the Israeli Prime Minister's office said. Hamas wants a ceasefire agreement to end the war in Gaza, while Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the conflict will stop only once Hamas is defeated. Israeli public broadcaster Khan said Israel's response to the latest proposal was headed to Washington on Saturday ahead of the expected meeting, the latest effort to reach an agreement after months in which Israel and Hamas have blamed each other for the stalemate. Okay, give me a second. And it is no surprise with North Korea, as North Korean leader Kim Jong-un inspected on Sunday flooded areas near the country's border with China after 5,000 people were affected, state media Korean Central News Agency said on Monday. Record torrential rain on Saturday in North Korea's Siniju and nearby areas bordering China isolated around 5,000 people, KCNA said. The military organized around 10 planes to make roughly 20 trips to each to rescue 4,200 people within about a half day, KCNA said. Kim praised the military for its rescue efforts, which he said saved 5,000 lives, but he rebuked officials for insufficient preparation of crisis response measures to prevent damage caused by heavy rain, floods, and typhoons, KCNA said. The region has been hit by heavy rainfall from Tropical Storm Gami in these days, with a rain-triggered landslide killing 12 people in southern China and causing flash floods everywhere. Alright, it is now 20 minutes before 8, and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews LA edition, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Pag-ibig Fam, solid kaban. A better mix of music. Cool FM.
And we are back with Cool News Early Edition. So 11 minutes before 8 a.m. So yes, we will have 8 a.m. hour of Cool News Early Edition as we will have more headlines. We will be here until 9 o'clock. Okay, so let's continue with the headlines now. And by the way, we'll get into sports for a bit as our fellow Cool DJ DJG has sent the sports headline related to Manny Pacquiao and Ruika Ampo. So let's get into that now as Manny Pacquiao and Rukia Ampo went the full 3 rounds in their boxing exhibition this Sunday evening at Saitama Super Arena in Japan. Pacquiao, age 45, boxed in the early going, trying to land his trademark left straight before taking clean shots from Ampo in their 3-minute roundabout. Since the fight is an exhibition, a winner will only be declared if the bout ends by stoppage. I hope this is not the last, Pacquiao said after the fight. Ampo is strong and fights well even though he does not have a lot of boxing experience. He did his best to give a good fight. Manny Pacquiao's professional boxing record remains at 6-2, 8-2 with 39 knockouts. Okay, so that's the sports headline. And now let's continue with the national and international headlines. If we have any, let me just check the inquiry real quick. Okay, so we do have what do we know? Walang pasok. So we have some list of class suspensions. So let's get into that. So what are the class suspensions for Monday, July 29? Well, class suspensions were imposed in Pasig City and some areas outside Metro Manila for Monday due to the damage brought by Typhoon Karina and the southwest monsoon locally called Habagat. The suspension of classes is meant to give way to the ongoing clear operation and to give students and their families more time to recover from the onslaught of hanging Habagat intensified by Typhoon Karina the past days. The Pasig City Public Information Office said in a Facebook post on Sunday evening. Below is the list of other areas that have called off classes at all levels, both public and private schools. So here are the list. Badnotan. For La Union, it's Badnotan, Balawan, Luna, and for Cavite is Naik and Maragon. So only few. Okay. In case you missed it, in its latest data, the National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council said Typhoon Karina, Tropical Depression Puchoy, and Habagat affected 3,628,500 individuals or 971,667 families. Of the affected people, 1,069,354 were displaced, with 168,933 staying inside 1,025 evacuation centers nationwide and 900,421 taking shelter elsewhere. Karina exited the country's area of responsibility last July 25, but its damage prompted the national government to place the national capital region and other Luzon areas under a state of calamity. Okay, so let's continue with the international headlines. Kamala Harris' election campaign said on Sunday that it has raised $200 million and signed up 170,000 new volunteers in the week since she became the Democratic Party's presidential candidate, as Republicans continue to hammer Harris over her work as vice president. President Joe Biden ended his re-election bid on Sunday last week and endorsed Harris for the November 5 vote against Republican former President Donald Trump. In the week since we started, Kamala Harris has raised $200 million. 66% that is from new donors. We have signed up 170,000 new volunteers, Harris Deputy Campaign Manager Rob Flaherty posted on X. Polls over the past week, including one by Reuters or Ipsos, show Harris and Trump essentially tied, setting the stage for a close-fought campaign over the 100 days left until the election. Trump's campaign said in early July that it raised $331 million in the second quarter, topping the $264 million that Biden's campaign and its Democratic allies raised in the same period. Trump's campaign had $284.9 million in cash on hand at the end of June, while the Democratic campaign had $240 million in cash on hand at the time. Harris has secured support from the majority of delegates to the Democratic National Convention, likely ensuring she will become the party's nominee for president next month. So our vice president is the presumptive nominee. We will have the official vote on August 1. Democratic National Committee Chair Jimmy Harrison told MSNBC on Sunday Biden withdrew from the race amid questions about his age and health following a fluttering debate performance against Trump in late June. Biden pledged to remain in office as president until his term ends on January 20, 2025. Harris' takeover has re-energized a campaign that had fluttered badly amid Democrats' doubts about Biden's chance of defeating Trump or his ability to continue the govern he want. Polls showed that Trump had built a lead over Biden, including in battleground states, after Biden's disastrous debate performance, but Harris' entries to the race has changed the dynamic. A New York Times seen in a college national poll published Thursday found Harris has narrowed what had been a sizable Trump lead, while Trump had a 2% point lead over her in a Wall Street Journal poll published on Friday. A Reuters Ipsos poll published on July 23 showed a 2-point lead for Harris. Republican attacks on Harris, the first woman and first black and South Asian person to serve as U.S. Vice President, have intensified in the days since she became the Democrats' likely presidential nominee. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, who vied unsuccessfully for the Republican nomination before endorsing Trump, told Fox News that Harris was incredibly rapid and predicted Democrats would issue a blizzard of lies to distance Harris from the Biden administration's policies on immigration and other issues. We have to whitewash Harris' background to be able to make her palatable to the American people, he said. Some Trump allies, including some members of the Black Americans for Trump coalition, warned that this pardoning Harris could hurt the former president in his outreach to black voters, a crucial Democratic threat in the November 5 presidential election. Harris' campaign had no immediate response to the Sandinist comments. Mitch Landrieu, a campaign co-chair, told MSNBC that Harris had one of the best weeks that we have seen in politics in the last 50 years. This is going to be a very close race, he said. Trump's fundraising surge when he was convicted in late May on felony charges related to a harsh money payment to a porn star ahead of the 2016 election. An assassination attempt against him this month was also expected to spur campaign contributions. And, well, boy, okay. Republican president, this is I'd say a day-old article, but this is kind of slow news, so we're just going to cover it anyway. So, Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump told Christians on Friday that if they vote for him this November, in 4 years you don't have to vote again. We have fixed it so good, you're gonna have to vote. It was not clear what the former president meant by his remarks in an election campaign where his Democrat opponents accused him of being untrue to democracy, and after his attempt to overturn his 2020 defeat to President Joe Biden, an effort that led to the deadly insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January 6, 2021. Trump was speaking at an event organized by the conservative Trump Turning Point Action in West Palm Beach, Florida. Trump said, "Christians, get out and vote just this time. You won't have to do it anymore. 4 more years, you know what? It will be fixed. It will be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians." He added, "I love you Christians. I am a Christian. I love you. Get out. You gotta get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We will have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote," Trump said. Trump campaign spokesperson Stephen Chuang did not directly address Trump's remarks when asked to clarify them. Chuang said Trump was talking about uniting this country and blamed the decisive political environment on the attempted assassination of Trump 2 weeks ago. Investigators have yet to give a motive for why the 20-year-old gunman opened a fire on Trump. In an interview with Fox News in December, Trump said that if he won the November 5 election, he would be a dictator, but only on day one to close the southern border with Mexico and expand oil drilling. Democrats have seized on that comment. Trump has since said the remarks were a joke. If Trump wins a second term in the White House, he can only serve 4 more years as president. Remember, U.S. presidents are limited to 2 terms, consecutive or not, under the U.S. Constitution. In May, speaking at a National Rifle Association gathering, Trump quipped about serving more than 2 terms as president. He referred to the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt, a Democrat, the only president to serve more than 2 terms. The 2-term limit was added after Roosevelt's presidency. You know, FDR, 16 years, almost 16 years, he was 4 terms. I don't know, are we going to be considered 3-term or 2-term? Trump asked the NRA crowd. Trump's remarks on Friday pointed to the need for both parties to energize their base voters ahead of what would likely be a closely fought election. Trump has enjoyed royal support from evangelicals in the past 2 elections. The race has abruptly tightened after the decision by Biden to end his re-election bid and with his vice president, Kamala Harris, becoming the presumptive Democratic nominee. Recent opinion polls show that Trump's significant lead over Biden has been largely erased since the torch was passed to Harris. Justin Singer, a Harris campaign spokesperson, in a statement did not directly address Trump's remarks about Christians not having to vote again. Singer described Trump's overall speech as bizarre and backward looking. Okay, it is now 8:01 a.m. and now we will get into the 8 a.m. hour of koolNews Early Edition.
Live from Cool Studios, this is koolNews Early Edition.
Alright people, and if you have just joined us for koolNews Early Edition, well, welcome aboard and good morning, as we will be here to serve you the latest morning headlines that you need to know right here from yesterday and today, and we will be here until 9 o'clock in the morning. Alright, so let's continue with the headlines. Now let's check if we have a new batch of headlines on Inquirer. Alright, so now let's get into some business news supposedly. Let's get into that now as banks remain cautious when lending to businesses in the second quarter amid a deterioration in the profitability of some companies, all while consumers are poised to see more relaxed lending rules on the back of their stable income. Results of a quarterly survey of senior loan officers from 60 banks showed a net tightening of credit standards to businesses last quarter due to deterioration of borrowers' profiles and profitability of banks' portfolios. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas reported. A net tightening means the proportion of banks that turned more conservative during the period exceeded those that relaxed their credit standards. The survey results for businesses were different for consumers who dealt with unchanged credit standards set by banks in the second quarter due to stable profiles of household borrowers and banks' unchanged tolerance for risk. In turn, the BSP said lenders were expecting a net easing of loan standards for consumers in the next quarter and an increase in household loan demand mainly due to robust consumption and more attractive lending terms being offered by banks. The central bank survey consists of questions on loan officers' perceptions relating to the overall credit standards of the respective banks, as well as to factors affecting the supply of and demand for loans to both enterprise and households. The BSP said 87% of banks will maintain their tight lending standards to enterprises in the 3 months through June, a tad higher than the 86.3% that gave the same response back in the first quarter around of the survey. And banks would likely stay cautious when granting loans to businesses in the next quarter. Results show 85.2% of senior loan officers polled said the respective banks expect generally unchanged lending standards for firms given the deterioration in borrowers' profiles and in the profitability and liquidity of banks' portfolios. Notwithstanding, the BSP said 72.2% of respondent banks reported steady demand for business loans in the second quarter, up from 70.6% in the preceding 3 months. For the third quarter, banks anticipate a net rise in credit demand from companies because of higher inventory and accounts receivable financing needs. Four years after its last shipment, the Philippines will finally be able to export 25,300 metric tons of raw sugar to the United States this year, according to regulators. The Sugar Regulatory Administration issued Sugar Order Number 3 last Friday, July 26, giving local producers the go signal to fulfill Washington's sugar allotment for the Philippines covering the fiscal year 2024. The order was signed by Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel Jr., Agriculture Undersecretary Bogart Navarro, SWA Administrator and CEO Paulo Luis Ascona, Miller's Representative Mitisi Mangwak, and Planners Representative David Andrews Son. To recall, the SWA made an order in 2021 allocating the entire local sugar production to the local market after a series of storms affecting sugarcane producing provinces including Negros Oriental and Batangas. The SRA noted current local production of locally produced sugar has surpassed 1.92 million metric tons, way higher than the 120,000 metric tons recorded in the previous crop year. This allows the Philippines to fulfill its US quota allocation of 25,300 metric tons. This shall be the first export of sugar in fulfillment of the US sugar allocation for the Sugar 2024 in order to participate in future import program, it said in the order. The regulators said qualified industry players have renewed their intention to meet the export volume despite the lower return and the additional cost and uncertainty inherent in the exportation of sugar. According to the SA, potential participants must remain licensed international sugar traders in good standing. Also on Friday, Washington gave the Philippines the thumbs up to export more raw sugar at lower thrift rates. According to a statement from the Office of the U.S. Trade Representative, the Philippines would be able to deliver an additional 145,235 metric tons raw value of raw cane sugar for fiscal year 2025, covering October 1 of this year to September 30, 2025. The country's allocation is part of the U.S. commitment under the World Trade Organization Agreement, which entails a minimum of 1,117,195 MTRV reserved by the latter for sugar exporting nations. For refined sugars, the government was targeting to import 200,000 metric tons by the second half of 2024 to stabilize price and boost local supply. The Philippines imports refined sugar because of the lack or limited processing capabilities. That is the deficit we are seeing. We expect current stocks to decline by August or September, so we need to plug the supply gap by importing 200,000 metric tons of refined sugar by September or October, and then the rest set in June. And the Trade Commission found no definitive reason to impose new safeguard measures on liquefied petroleum gas cylinders that are being exported to the Philippines. The Commission issued its findings in the decision dated July 26, around 6 months after beginning the formal investigation, acting on the position of the Ferrotech Steel Corp, which touts itself as the largest manufacturer of LPG cylinders in the Philippines. Among the findings was that importation of the steel cylinders saw an increase relative to domestic production from 2017 to 2023. The Commission also noted that during those 7 years, the annual supply of LPG tanks in the Philippine market ranged between 11,500 metric tons and 26,000 metric tons. Meanwhile, the average supply in the last 3 years was found to be about 30,000 metric tons. The bulk of imports during the period were sourced from China, which had an 82% share of total imports. Shipments from Vietnam and Japan were at for second and third place at 3% and 2% respectively. In the first 3 years, during the period of underassessment, the domestic industry was the dominant player in the Philippines, with a market share of 60.23% in 2017, 68.92% in 2018, and 70.98% in 2019. In 2020, it dwindled to 58.75% and fell further to 50.29% in 2021, 31.10% in 2022, before making a significant recovery to 52.79% in 2023. Despite an observed increase in imports of LPG steel cylinders, the Trade Commission noted that available industry-wide data are insufficient to conclude that it has caused serious injury to or threat to the local industry. In the absence of a positive determination of a serious injury or threat thereof, neither can the causal relationship between increased import of LPG steel cylinder and serious injury or threat thereof to the domestic industry be established, it said in the same report. Considering that not all the elements for the imposition of the definitive safeguard duty were met, the Commission hereby concludes its thorough investigation and recommends that no definitive general safeguard measure be imposed on importations of the LPG steel cylinders subject of this investigation, the report said further. Okay, it is now 12 minutes past 8 and we will have more headlines coming up right here on koolNews Early Edition. So stick around, we will be right back.
Brought to you by MX3.
Sing along to the music. Cool FM.
And we are back with more cool news early edition. It is now 8:21 in the morning. So now let's continue with the headlines as we speak. Let's just double check if I have any brand new headlines so we can cover. Okay, so we do have something to cover. Okay, the Department of Transportation is keen on securing within this year a total of over $1.5 billion for the construction of Metro Rail Transit Line, or MRT4, a project designed to service the eastern side of Metro Manila. Timothy John Batan, Undersecretary for Planning and Project Development, told reporters last week they were in talks with the Asian Development Bank and the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank for the project funding. We're still targeting to have this loan approved by the ADB board and AIAB board within the year, Batan said. For ADB, the loan to be extended amounts to $1 billion. Meanwhile, the government is asking for $537.4 million from AIIB. Batan said that before the granting of the loan, they also have to first obtain approval from the National Economic Development Authority for the increase of project costs. The MRT4 project cost was initially tagged at 58.92 billion pesos, which is equivalent to about $1 billion. But Batan said this would go up due to the resign. He said the new estimate has yet to be determined pending a study. The DOTR is back to the drawing board after finding out that the original plan, which is to build monorail, was not sufficient to accommodate the projected growth in passenger volume. Instead, a conventional railway with a bigger capacity will be built to serve more commuters. MRT4 is a 13.4-kilometer elevated railway system. It is designed to have 10 stations that link Taytay, Rizal to the Ortigas Central Business District. The railway project is also intended to have integrated terminals for bus and jeepneys. Of course, it is slow, so, well, I guess we will get back to international headlines, and then in the next, and then in the last game we will cover entertainment there. So I want to save entertainment for the last. So, okay. All right. So what do I do now? Oh, excuse me. Okay. So. Okay, give me a second. Okay, so apparently, I'm going off topic for a bit, but I'm already planning to do something interesting. But yeah. Anyways, let's continue with the headlines. Let me just get back to Reuters right now. Excuse me. Alright, so well, we have some Olympics news, but rather not so related to Olympics, but you know, again, interesting stuff here. Let me just click cookies before it next me again. Okay, let's just refresh it. Alright, well, what do we have here? So, in part of international news, and also part of Olympics coverage, France police have opened an investigation into death threats received by 3 Israeli athletes at the Paris Olympic Games, the Paris prosecutor's office said on Sunday. Anti-cybercrime officers are also investigating the release of athletes' personal data on social networks on Friday and seeking to have it removed, prosecutors said in a statement. In that statement on Thursday, Israel's National Cyber Directorate said after an investigation it had come to the conclusion that Iranian hackers were creating social media channels to publish personal information about members of the Israeli delegation and send them threatening messages. On the same day, Israel's foreign minister warned his French counterpart of a potential Iranian-backed plot to target Israeli athletes and tourists during the Paris Olympic Games. The Iranian mission to the United Nations has said in a statement on Thursday, terrorist acts have no place in the principles of resistant groups, lies and deceit cannot switch the roles of the plaintiff and the accused. Israel athletes at games are being escorted to and from events by allied tactical units and given 24-hour protection throughout the Olympics, officials say. Israel's Internal Security Service, Shin Bet, is helping with security. Total support for the measures that are being taken by the French authorities, an Israeli diplomatic source said. This sends an important message to individuals and organizations attempting to threaten athletes, the source added. Britain's government declared the country was broken ahead of an assessment of the public finance on Monday, which the newly elected Labour Party will use to blame their predecessors for a £20 billion or $26 billion shortfall. Elected to run the world's sixth largest economy in a landslide victory on July 4, Labour has spent much of its first 3 weeks in power telling the public that things are worse than expected in almost every area of public policy. Finance Minister Rachel Reeves will set out the findings of a fiscal review in a statement to Parliament that will accuse the Conservative Party, which led the country for the previous 14 years of making unfunded spending commitments to try to win public support. The assessment will show that Britain is broke and broken, revealing the mess that populist politics has made of the economy and public service. A statement issued by Prime Minister Keir Starmer, officials said. It will show that the previous government made significant funding commitments for this fiscal year without knowing where the money would come from. The Conservatives have dismissed Labour's widely previewed announcement of a black hole in the public finances as a fabricated pretext for tax rises it did not disclose during the election campaign. Some economists were also skeptical, saying there were a few big surprises Labour could not have foreseen before taking office. REFEBS will also reveal the date for her first budget, commission the independent forecast that will be published alongside that budget, and set up plans for the formal spending review process that decides how much money each department gets. She is also expected to agree to above-inflation pay awards for teachers and health workers. It is unclear how Labour will address the shortfall it identifies. REFEBS is hemmed in by election promises not to raise rates of income tax, national insurance, social security payments, value-added tax, and corporation tax. Media reports have noted that REFEBS would use Monday's statement to pave the way for other tax rises at the subsequent budget. The Financial Times said she would delay some road and hospital building projects. The government statement did not set out any measures, but senior Labour Minister Pat McFadden said we will not shy away from being honest with the public about the reality of what we have inherited. Wait a minute. Whoops, not again. Whoops, not again. Hold on. Oh shoot. Wait. Okay, hopefully that will work. There we go. Havana residents watched from shore on Saturday as rescue warships arrived for the second time in as many months in the visit that Cuba called routine. Cuban authorities fired shots in the air to signal the welcome, while curious fishermen watched from Havana's waterside promenade as the ships advanced up the bay. Resting residents were also among the few up early to see the fleet's arrival. The patrol ship Nostrahim Lee, training vessel Smolny, and support vessel All from the Baltic Fleet are scheduled to depart on Tuesday. A brief statement by the Cuban Revolutionary Armed Forces described their arrival as routine. A Russian nuclear submarine brigade and support ships in June also flexed Moscow's muscles in the port of Havana, less than 100 miles or 160 kilometers from Florida. Russia's deployments in the Atlantic pose no direct threat or concern to the United States, a U.S. Northern Command spokesperson said, adding the command monitored all approaches to North America. Tensions between the United States and Russia have increased since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine, and Russian naval activity, though routine in the Atlantic, has ratcheted up because of U.S. support for Ukraine. U.S. and Cuba have more improved as the communist-run country battles communist-run country battles and economic crisis. It charges is due mainly to U.S. sanctions. High-level contacts between the countries have increased to a level not seen since the fall of Cuba's former benefactor, the Soviet Union, with Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel visiting Moscow 4 times. Russia has sent oil, flour, and increasing number of tourists to the Caribbean nation, which is short of cash and goods. Citizens suffer through daily power outages and other travels, resulting in scattered protests and record migration. Ana Garas, a 78-year-old retiree, told Reuters she remembered the Soviet Union was the only country to help Cuba during the 1962 missile crisis of nuclear war. We are very grateful, she said. Why should we not receive it with open arms? This is friendship. All kinds of ships have entered here. It shows how other countries do support us and takes away a little of the responsibility of both our country, added her husband, 71-year-old retiree Rolando Perez. Alright, so we are running out of headlines in the meantime, but we will move on now to entertainment news as we are getting you to 9 o'clock. So, it is 8:40 now, so let me just double check in fire site real quick just to make sure. Okay, we have some one additional headline which we will get into later, but for now, it is
Jody Santa Maria po. Sa sakit ng ulo o lagnat, Biogesic agad. Alagang Unilab yan. Paracetamol is a generic name of Biogesic. If symptoms persist, consult your doctor.
Cool FM.
Yes, welcome back to Cool News Early Edition. So it is 11 minutes before 9, which we will be leaving the Cool News in just a few minutes. So now let's continue with the headlines. Okay, so let's continue with the one national headline, and then we will move on to entertainment news. A fire hit a portion of Lucky's Chinatown Mall in Binondo, Manila on Monday morning, the Bureau of Fire Protection said. In an initial report, fire authorities said the blaze started in the museum on the mall's fourth floor at 7:13 a.m. and reached the first alarm by 7:29 a.m. The BFE said the fire is still ongoing and no other details are available as of right. At least 5 trucks have been deployed to the site to help extinguish the blaze. Okay, I'm just waiting for the streaming software to call. Okay, it's really getting pretty. Yep, it's buffering. Yep. Which means I think it's the live stream is causing this one to lag. I can't pause it. Okay. Oh well, but anyway, we'll have to get the feed out later for now, but yeah, that's how it is. In the meantime, I just wait for the screen to calm down. It's really overloading at this time. Okay, it has calmed down now, so just a little bit more. Okay. We're just making sure. Okay, looks like we're good now. So let's get into showbiz. We're just checking here. Okay, looking good so far. Now let's get into the showbiz news as Aaron Richards is heading to Canada to film Hello Love Again, the sequel to the hit 2019 film Hello Love Goodbye, which also stars Kathleen Bernardo. Pictures of Richards being interviewed at the airport were uploaded by Sparkle GMA Artist Center and Star Cinema on X, formerly Twitter, on Saturday, July 27. Aside from Canada, the couple's talent agency also announced the actor will be heading to the US for the Sparkle World Tour in California in August. Alan Richards is off to Canada to film Hello Love Again. He's then hitting the road for the Sparkle World Tour in USA and Canada, Sparkle GMA's post said. Sparkle GMA's announcement comes after Bernardo's departure to Canada last July 24. ABS-CBN Star Cinema said as much. Joy, your Ethan is on his way. Ella Richards leaves today to join Catherine Bernardo in the filming of Hello Love Again in Canada, Star Cinema's X-Post thread. Richards' Hello Love Again director Kathy Garcia Sampana and the film's production team were previously in Hong Kong just last June to film some scenes for the sequel. Hello Love Again which was confirmed last May, is set to continue the story of Joy Fabregas as Bernardo and Ethan Del Rosario as Richards following the events of the 2019 movie. It will hit theaters on November 13th. Details on the film's storyline and Bernardo and Richards co-stars are yet to be announced. And elated, Yam Conception announced that she's expecting her first child with her non-showbiz husband Miko Gu Yojing-ang 3 years after tying the knot. Conception confirmed her pregnancy in a joint Instagram post with Gu Yojing-ang on Sunday, July 28, while sharing glimpses of their beach gateway in the Bahamas. She didn't indicate how far along she is in her pregnancy. The post showed the actress wearing a black bikini that showed off her baby bump as she took time off with Gu Yojing-ang swimming, riding on a boat, and playing with marine animals. Spring rains, turtles, snakes, and above, she said in the caption. Following the announcement, Gu Yojing-ang said in the comments that he's so excited for all their future adventures as they're set to become parents. You are my dream come true, and I'll never know how I got so lucky, so I'm excited for all our future adventures, and there's no better way to close this chapter of our story. And with this amazing in our paradise, my love, I love you more than words I can say, and I can't wait for Tiny Consumption to see you to be a big sister. The Hollywood star was also congratulated by fellow celebrities Ria Actores, Isa Calzado, Isa Padilla, Sunshine Cruz, Jihong Hilario, Hero Angeles, Sue Arias, Dean Medina, Risa Senon, Danny Barreto, and Patrick Garcia. Conception, who's currently based in the US, said I do to Ko Yojing-ang at an intimate ceremony in New York in July 2021. They were in a long-distance relationship before tying the knot. And finally, a 30-year-old man has filed a criminal complaint against actor Yo In for sexually attacking him, so police said Friday, July 26, with investigators considering the possibility that Yo had been under the influence of drugs when it occurred. Officials at the Song Yoang police station are investigating the intimidative rape case involving the 37-year-old actor, with plans to summon him for questioning soon. Intimidative rape speculated by Article 297-2 of the Criminal Act refers to rape via non-genital body parts. Yo's lawyer immediately released a statement Friday morning denying the allegations and urging the public to refrain from unnecessary speculations related to his client. The accusers said he was sexually attacked by you while sleeping at the unit of a commercial residential building in Myeongsan-gu, Seoul, on July 14th. The unit is not the home of you or the accuser, and others were at the scene. Officials said that they are open to the possibility that you had been under the influence of illegal drugs. They already questioned and did a rapid drug test on the accuser, and the results came back negative. The embattled actor is currently on trial for the repeated illegal drug use. He is accused of illegally using medical anesthetic propofol on 181 occasions between 2020 and 2022, smoking and instigating others to smoke marijuana, and instigating others to destroy criminal evidence. And that is it for koolNews early edition. Wait a second. So yes, that is indeed it for koolNews early edition. As always, thank you so much for joining us to start your morning with us right here on koolNews early edition. So yeah, you can always get in touch with us. As always, you can get in touch with us at tvh.philippines.news@gmail.com. And we will be back with more headlines later with koolNews at 11, koolNews at noon, koolNews at 6, and koolNews prime time. Remember, no koolNews at 4 since I will be outside going out. Since I will be outside at that time. So remember, no koolNews at 4. So by then, for the evening headlines, we'll see you later at 6. But for now, we will be back later at 11 a.m. Until then, I am Cairo, and we will see you later for more headlines at 11 a.m. in the morning. Good morning and goodbye for now.